Welcome back to the Mr. I1 YouTube channel. If you're interested in personalized patrilineal analysis and having a video created regarding your direct patrilineal line, consider becoming a Patreon member. There is a link in the description of this video. In today's video, I'll be analyzing the patrilineal line of a friend of mine. He is Canadian, but his earliest known ancestor comes from the county of Londonderry in Northern Ireland. His ancestor was born in the village of Kilrea around the year 1785, and I believe that his direct patrilineal ancestors were in Kilrea all the way back to the early 1600s, with the I-FT37811 branch, which dates approximately to the year 1596 according to Family Tree DNA mean age estimates. The progenitor of this branch has a Scottish surname and was most likely born somewhere in the lowlands of southwestern Scotland, prior to showing up on a muster list in Kilrea, Northern Ireland in the year 1631. But he himself was probably born around the year 1600. I believe that all of my friends' subclade matches with the same surname as him that are positive for this branch I-FT32636 and his downstream branch I-FT37811, which is my friend's terminal subclade, can trace their ancestry back to this individual in Kilrea. He most likely emigrated from southwest Scotland to Northern Ireland in the early 1600s because of the plantation of Ulster. To quote Wikipedia in regards to the plantation of Ulster, quote, "The official plantation began in 1609. 6 counties were involved in the official plantation: Donegal, Londonderry, Tyrone, Fermanagh, Cavan, and Armagh. By 1622, a survey found that there were 6,402 British adult males on plantation lands, of whom 3,100 were English and 3,700 Scottish. Most Scottish planters came from southwest Scotland." End quote. My friend's next upstream branch is IBY 188842, which dates approximately to the year 1289 CE, according to Family Tree DNA mean age estimates. Now, all the surnames associated with this branch have some correlation with southwestern Scotland, so that is where I believe it originated. This was a proficient ancestor. There are already 5 descendant lineages for this subclade, and this age estimate for this branch correlates right around the start of the Scottish Wars of Independence. Is his proficiency something to do with his role during these wars? 3 out of 5 descendant lineages share the same surname, so I believe the progenitor of this branch already had that surname back around the year 1289 CE. Now, what's interesting is my friend has a different surname, so there must have been an MPE along his patrilineal line sometime between 1289 CE and 1596 CE, somewhere in southwestern Scotland. The true surname for this patrilineal line has roots in southwestern Scotland, but interestingly, it doesn't have a correlation with the Normans. So how did my friend's patrilineal line enter the region of southwestern Scotland? I believe it occurred during the Viking Age. That region of southwestern Scotland was influenced by the Norse Vikings, and the famous Galloway Hoard was discovered there. To quote Wikipedia in regards to the Galloway Hoard, quote, "The Galloway Hoard, now in the National Museum of Scotland in Edinburgh, is a hoard of more than 100 gold, silver, glass, crystal, stone, and earthenware objects from the Viking Age, discovered in the historical county of Kirkcudbrightshire in Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland." End quote. Unfortunately, my friend only has 2 subclade matches in approximately the previous 1,000 years leading up to his southwestern Scotland branch. One match with the I-FT32146 subclade, which dates approximately to the year 751 CE, has no available information. We don't know what their surname is. We don't know what country they're from. So there's no way to gain any additional evidence for the narrative of my friend's direct patrilineal line. Since the age estimate predates the Viking Age, I'm assuming this common ancestor most likely was living in Scandinavia. The next upstream branch, IBY189448, which dates approximately to the year 335 CE, according to family tree DNA mean age estimates, only has one match that diverged apart from my friend's direct patrilineal line. And this person claims Denmark for the earliest known patrilineal country of origin. That doesn't mean, though, that this branch originated in Denmark. It could have originated in Sweden, and then his ancestor could have ended up in Denmark, potentially during the Viking Age. Unfortunately, my friend does not have any ancient DNA connections that can add any additional relevant information regarding how his patrilineal ancestor ended up in southwestern Scotland during the Viking Age. That being said, though, my friend is positive for both major branches IY2592 and IL22, both of which most certainly originated in modern-day Sweden, and both of them have a very strong Nordic modern distribution, and both of them have a strong correlation with the Viking Age. So all things being equal, I would take an educated guess that my friend's ancestor most likely came from Western Sweden during the Viking Age. You might be saying, well, what about the Anglo-Saxons? Could that be a possibility, since that area of southwestern Scotland was under the control of Northumbria for a while? All things being equal, most likely not. In the 2022 study, The Anglo-Saxon Migration and the Formation of the Early English Gene Pool, there were 40 haplogroup I1 ancient DNA samples from England during the early Middle Ages, and only 1 out of 40, yes, only 1, tested positive for major branch IL22. Okay, what are some promising leads for my friend? Well, at Y111, he has a non-surname match with a genetic distance of 9. This individual will probably test positive for major branch IBY188842. But who knows, his data might create a new 6th descendant lineage. So worth finding out by having him upgrade to Big Y700. At Y67, my friend has a surname match with a genetic distance of 7. Should he upgrade to Big Y700, there is a chance that he might connect to my friend's patrilineal line shortly before the I-FT37611 branch, which dates approximately to the year 1596. At Y37, he has a match genetic distance of 3 that has a variant of the original surname for this patrilineal line. Should he upgrade to Big Y700, there is a chance that he might connect to my friend's patrilineal line sometime shortly before the IBY188842 branch around the year 1289. Lastly, my friend has a Y37 match genetic distance of 3 that lists Sweden for the earliest known patrilineal country of origin. Now, there's no guarantees that Y37 this could be an example of convergence, but still, it's worth having them upgrade to Big Y700. You never know. His data might shed new light on how my friend's patrilineal ancestor might have come from Western Sweden during the Viking Age. Thanks for watching.